Hello, this is a quick video to share with you a basic tool that I've created to help students reflect against the wellbeing indicators. This tool will then collate that information, and there's various different things we can do with that. For me, I'd be looking to use this to help monitor well-being of students across the whole school or within specific years, using it to support attainment consultations I'd be having, and also to help measure interventions and any other sort of support we're putting into place in a school. The tool itself is a form. It's created within Office 365, linked to an Excel spreadsheet, which is kept within Microsoft Teams. And I'll just talk you through how that works and the advantages of doing it like this. So this is our form here. This is what students will see. I've got it set up so it can be accessed without logging into Globe, which makes it really easy for students to access. For me, if I was using this, I would also maybe create a bit.ly to help them get there that little bit easier. Seeing it as a form, the benefit of it is that we do have immersive reader. So when we click here, this will slightly change the look of that page. It'll allow us to have access to all the features that make reading text maybe easier for some of our students. So you can see it's changed the color. I can press play here, and it'll start to read to me what it says. And the other big one is I can click in the top right over here, and I can then choose to translate it to a certain language. And if I click Whole Document, that's now translated into French. For my students who are bilingual or multilingual, that's a huge benefit to me. So back to the form. We have general questions to start, a name, so I'll just write pupil Z. We have year group, a specific class in case you're multi-streamed, so we'll say P7B. I've included a short video here about what the wellbeing indicators are. Obviously, as a school, you might choose to create a video like that yourself, or to create some sort of other diagram to help explain them, and to help students out a bit more. We then here have the Likert scale. I've put in some different emojis, so hopefully for younger students, that's easier for them to maybe evaluate those and kind of judge themselves based on them. Number 7 is meant to be a smiley face with stars, but because I'm using an old browser, it's not appearing as you'd expect in other browsers. So I can then quickly choose where I would put myself. And obviously you might do this as everyone in the computer suite or with Chromebooks or laptops all doing this at once. You may need to support students and do that one at a time. The other thing I really like about this is I'll purposely miss out the responsible one, and I'll show you what happens at the end. We then have 2 boxes here. First of all, to share any comments about what you've said above. So I guess for a student, if they've shared something maybe as a 1, they might want to explain why they've chosen 1 there. And also for number 7, anything else you'd want to share. You know, for some of our students, this is a good opportunity to maybe share something that they'd want to talk about, but maybe they're not sure how they go about that or who they best be speaking to. So I then click submit here. And as you can see, it says 1 question needs to be completed, question 5. I go back up and oh, there it is. I've realized I've missed it. So I can then change that, and then I can then submit. And that's straightforward. That's all the students would see. As the administrator, this is what that looks like for me. So this is where we can easily edit some of the questions, change classes, that sort of thing. And when I go to responses, I then met with this summary screen. So it tells me on average how long people are taking to complete it. And you know, that sort of thing, where specific students you might be concerned, have you just clicked through that really quickly? So I can see there respondent 1 took a minute, respondent 2, a minute 15, suddenly respondent 3, 22 seconds. So that might bring me some concerns. When I go back, you'll see the first few questions, it just gives me an overview of who's answered and what they've done. Really where it starts to get a bit more interesting is when we get to that question 5. So it gives us this graph. Very quickly, we can see that responsible and included, you say particularly they're going really well at the moment. You know, we're seeing a lot of 7s for that. And you'd probably be pointing out safe as being an area of concern, as that's more orange. And then at the bottom, you've just got the option of seeing those comments. So for me, I would then be opening it in Excel. And when I click that, it'll then present like this. And what I've done is I've conditioned it so that it's color coded. So very quickly you can then see where my 1s are, where my 2s are, and also where my 7s are. I've also put in an average, so then that can help me see on average what do those scores look like. And currently that's with who's shown on the screen. So I can easily then filter that. So I only really want to focus on my P7s because I'm meeting with P7 teachers to discuss this. So if I click filter, I can then choose P7 and I'll also include the average one we've got there. I click OK. You've got then the option to do it just for you or for everyone. So if this is a situation where everyone is sitting with their laptops, I might do this with everyone so everyone can see that, or I might choose to just do it for me at this point. So I'm going to choose that, and you can see that will change slightly. And then that's given me the P7 overview. And then I can then see what that looks like and compare that. What I've also made it is that people can obviously put different forms in. So I've got people in, if you imagine this might be a student who we're putting specific interventions in place for, and you'd ideally be doing this maybe over weeks, maybe over months, and measuring what the impact is of what we're doing. So what's quite nice here is if I go to first name and I'll filter, and I just want pupil A, and I can click OK there. And you can see the picture is slightly improving, especially if we focus on safe, and it's going from 1 all the way up to 6. We've got the comments boxes over the side, so they've commented on why they're saying they feel unsafe. I've also included a column for adding in any interventions that have taken place. So this is just simply where staff would be adding in their comments. I might be saying things are now looking very positive. Another nice thing about doing it this way is that quite often in schools, I've worked with students to create wellbeing webs, which obviously is a tool to help analyze specific areas of concern, and also to do that thing of seeing that improvement. So we can do that really easily in Excel. I can just click the ones that I want to show, highlight them. I'll then go up to insert, and I'll then choose other chart, and then go down to the radar. And then that'll bring that up like that, which gives us a nice clear graph to say safe's a big concern and probably that respected is a big concern, but hey, look how well we're doing for included just now and responsible. So it allows us to have a conversation around that. The other thing we can do is we can actually highlight all of these, which will then give us a picture of how that's changed over time as well. So we've gone from this blue shape, this blue line, to the red line. Now we're up to that green line. So that can help us to identify next steps and other things we need to be doing as well, celebrating that success. We also, within this, if I get rid of those filters, so I'll clear the filter and I'll clear the filter from the name. We can also be using things like comments. So I've got comments in the top corner here. So if I click that, you can just see this is where I've put little comments about specific concerns. So then that would allow people to then comment on that and to have that conversation around it. If you go to this through Teams, the other thing you do have is you do have that discussion option. If we click up conversation, here's a conversation as well. So you've got both of those options within Teams. I have included an average, and that's just me placing that in. And that might be something you want to do periodically in order to allow you to compare and to see how maybe things have changed. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.